Hey guys, it's Paul. I'm going to show you how to set up Discourse, a Discourse forum with DigitalOcean. It's going to cost you $10 a month. This way I'm going to use GSuite for the emails, so that would cost you $3 a month. But we're going to get you a Discourse forum, a secure, up in the corner, look secure. You need to have that little green padlock. The basic setup won't give you the green padlock. But we're going to give you a secure Discourse forum, all set up and working. And I don't think it'll take longer than 10 minutes. This way is going to cost you $13 a month versus having Discourse host it for you at $120. So let's get cracking. First off, we're going to do it with DigitalOcean. So you need to go, you don't need to, but we're going to go pnuk.co/DigitalOcean. That's my referral partner link. So if you use that link, I will get paid a little bit of money. Or they take a little bit of my Discourse bill off. So pnuk.co. Sorry, my voice going. pnuk.co/DigitalOcean. I'll put a link in the video. You're going to sign up, log in, whatever you need to do. And we're going to create a new droplet, right? So create droplet. Then we're going to go one-click apps and Discourse. Right, down the bottom it's going to say what size do you want. You can have a $10 one. If you're just starting out, the $10 one's going to be fine for you. You can always upgrade later. If you've got already a big community, you might want to go with a $20 one. Decide where your user base is. I'm going to use this for the Happy Me forum. So I get a lot more people in America than in Europe, and I'm gonna do it in New York, not San Francisco, because it is a bit closer. I would recommend, and they recommend, turning backups on. That will cost you 20% more. I think it says there. So it's going to cost you an extra $2 a month to back up your forum, but it can only be a good idea. Turn monitoring on so you can keep an eye on it. That doesn't cost anything. And then you've got a droplet here that you need to name. Happy Me Discourse. Call it whatever you want, right? But if you've got more than one. And create. So this bit will take a little bit of time setting up. Probably the only part that's going to pause us within this new setup. What we then need to do, once we get an IP address, see this one for my forum, once you get an IP address, then we need to go to our domain hosting and tell it where to point the forum. So we're going to go to GoDaddy. So if you go to your GoDaddy or wherever you are, you need to work out how to change the DNS settings for your domain. Where's it going to live? So you go to in GoDaddy, you go to My Products. Then you'll go, well, it comes up domain straight away. So I'm going to click this one. It's going to be on happyme.com. So I'm going to go to DNS. So you need to get to DNS settings. I've just got the email from Discourse saying it's finished. So now DigitalOcean's finished. There's my IP address. I'm going to copy it. If I go to my email, I get an email with a password and again the IP address, right? So I need to point, the first thing I need to do is point the website to that IP address. So if I come to my DNS settings, and you'll see that the A record is the root, the host domain, I'm going to change that to this IP. Now, what I want is happy-me.com to just be a forum. It's going to be that is going to be the forum. Now for you, it may be forum.happyme.com. Like mine is forum.paulnicholson.com. So what I'm going to do is, if you're going to make it the root, the main domain, you're going to have an A name, an A record that is the host. With GoDaddy, the @ sign means root. So you just leave it as the main domain, the main hosting, right? So what I'm going to do is change host stays at the root. It points to my IP address. Custom TTL. This is how quickly it picks up the change. So I'll leave it at 600 seconds. That's the smallest it can be. So that's if you want it to be the main website. If you want it to be a subdomain, so then you go A record, and then I might put forum or connect or chat, whatever it is. So I'm going to put forum. points to that IP address and changes in 600 seconds, right? So let me just be clarified with that. If you are going to use it on your main domain, you leave it as the @ record here. It's a type file on the host or the root domain, which in GoDaddy is an @ sign. You may, on yours, it may be space, it just may be blank, and IP address. If you want to use it as a subdomain, you create another A record, but in the host, you put forum, connect, chat, and then you put in the IP address, okay? Second thing I need to do is set up my GSuite email so that it allows emails to pass through from that domain, from that IP address, right? So what I do is I log into GSuite, I go down to admin. It's the one program that never remembers my password. All right. I log in. Come on, baby. I go to apps. So I need to tell Gmail, the app Gmail, to let this IP address send email addresses, okay? You cannot do this in Gmail, though. You have to do it through GSuite. So I go to apps, GSuite, go to Gmail, and then I click. Oh, it's a bit slow today, isn't it? Hopefully I'm on the right Wi-Fi. Yeah, I am. So then I go to advanced settings, down the bottom, advanced settings. And you can scroll down here, or you can just type in a search. If you put in a search here, SMTP, you're looking for the SMTP relay. So here, look, the SMTP relay service is already set up. So this is, I'm going to mirror this. Any address, only from this IP address, allowed IP address, happy me, that's already done. So I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to show you, this is a little bit funky. There's two places to save it. So, SMTP relay service, I'm going to call it Happy Me Discourse. And I'm going to put only registered app users in my door. I'm going to put any address, not recommended, but I'm going to put it at any address. Only accept mail specified. I leave this blank. And I leave this blank and I tick require TLS encryption, add settings. Oh, require at least one. So allowed IP, only accept email from specified. Oh, sorry, yeah, you want to tick that one. And add IP range. And this I'm going to put in Happy Me Discourse, and I'm putting that IP address in again, right? So the IP address that you've been sent, right? Save. So we are saying any email from this IP requires TLS encryption, add settings, right? Now, if you've already got one and you edit it and you click save, there's a double save. You've got to save it down the bottom. If you haven't searched here, then the save bar might be further down than you think. It can be all the way to the bottom of the screen. So make sure you save at the bottom, right? So now we've set up the domain so that the IP address is set up. I don't think it'll have, maybe it will have, I'll have a look. Hasn't taken yet. And it's also got a S, so I wouldn't be that happy. But if I go to the IP address, it should give me the little DigitalOcean shark. So the IP address is happy. So now that gets a bit funky. We're going to go to terminal and connect to this droplet. We're going to connect to the to DigitalOcean through terminal. Let me quit it. So on a Mac, I go utilities, terminal. On a Windows computer, I'm not sure exactly how you do it. But if you just type in search and terminal, I think it comes up as an app that you can use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type in SSH root at that IP address. That is how to connect. It's going to ask me for the password, right? it actually asked me for something else, didn't it? But it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to continue? Yes. What's the password? I paste it in. It connects to the droplet and asks me to change the password. So I'm going to put in the old password, a new password. This is the bit I have to concentrate a little bit more. The new password again. And it signs me in. Right now it's going to say, are you ready? Do you have your settings? So first thing you need is an email address for your Discourse account. The second thing you need is a subdomain or domain set up. So that's what we're going to do, happy-me.com, or you're going to do forum.yourdomain.com, whatever you're going to use, and details for the SMTP server your Discourse install will use. That's the GSuite information, right? So I'm going to say, yes, I'm happy. Enter the email address that you're going to use, paul@paulnicholson.com. Just make sure this bit is, you want to take a little bit of time to make sure you are getting it correct, because I've seen before where people have just slightly typed something wrong and it obviously doesn't work. smtp-relay.gmail.com. People will see me typing Gmail in. This does not work on Gmail. You need to use, they recommend Mailgun. G Suite's $3 a month. I haven't seen any other uses for the SMTP settings, so it works for me on G Suite and it costs me $3 a month. Enter SMT port is default of 587. I always type it in there, but I think it would take, when you're using G Suite, you don't have to put a username or password in, and that's it. It takes does its thing. Eventually it'll set. I'm gonna have a drink of coffee. Now that's how they tell you to use it, right? So now if I go back to this, so it says here you're completed. So if I now refresh that or go to that IP, I'm going to get the setup, register setup, right? But if you notice, it's not secure. So what I recommend, if you go through the setup at this point, when you put your logos in and then make it secure later, the logos stop working. So don't stop at this point. What I want you to do is do this. /discourse.setup, and that's where we're going to turn it in, where we're going to enable the secure part. It's a lot easier than you used to have to go into a file and edit it, but now there's a simpler way. Right, so what we want to do, we want to get to that file. So you do cd/var/discourse. Right, so that puts us in the right folder. Then you can do the -discourse setup. It may not work. Okay, so it says it's already running, so you need to stop it. So look, it says here, pointing at the screen, .launcher stop app, right? So we're going to stop the app from running. Launcher stop app, and that will stop Discourse working. And then if you press up, you've done that Discourse setup, it gets you back to previous commands. Look, but I'm going to do it again. .launcher .discourse /setup. Right now it's going to ask me those same questions again. Host name for your Discourse, happyme.com. You don't have to type these in again. It's saying it's happy, right? Email address. It feels like on the initial setup, why doesn't it just do this anyway? SMTP server, I'm just gonna, you don't have to type in the bits above. SMTP username's blank. Now let's encrypt account email. Enter to skip or type in. So it says me@example.com. So paul@paulnicholson.com. So you're going to need to put your email address in at this point. What happened there? Checking domain, happyme results, so it looks good. Does this look right? happyme.com. Paul, SMTP relay, let's encrypt. Everything looks fine. Enter to continue. Configuring file, changing it, and then it relaunches it, and it goes through the whole setup. It pulls the information, it updates your Discourse. So it does take a little bit of time for this part to complete. And you may need to run it twice. Sometimes it comes up and says to completely install, run the launcher again, which what this is. But we'll see what it says this time. I mean, today is it's the 29th of April 2018, so it may change in the future. This is a new setup feature, the Discourse dash setup. But it just adds, it's an easier way than going into the setup file, because it's easy to get the setup file wrong and you can crash your Discourse and it can become a ball ache trying to fix it. So we're going to let it go through its thing. I'm going to leave it running because I want you to see how long it takes, rather than me pausing it and then you thinking, well, mine's took 10 minutes and yours took 20 seconds. Just going to leave it running. So this is what I mean here. So it looks how it says to complete an upgrade, rebuild again using. So it's done it once, but it's saying you need to do this again just to make sure that everything's correct. At this point, I would also do git pull, and that pulls the information. Make sure you're up to date. Yes, you are. Then do as it says, //launcher, rebuild app. And this time you should get like a picture thing. It always comes up like a weird picture coding thing. He says that bit. If you don't see that bit in the first time, then you need to do it. For some reason, that whole coding picture has to show. So the second time it runs, it's just reconfiguring. It's pulling all the new information. I don't know. I don't know what exactly it's doing. It's doing a lot of funky things. So just to recap, sign up for DigitalOcean's Discourse, $10 a month. Go to pnuk.co/DigitalOcean. I get a little bit of a kickback for that. And then go to set up your droplet. Go to your domain, DNS settings, point it in the right place. GSuite's what I use, $3 a month. Set up your GSuite in the apps to let the email address forward through, and then you're finally into this setup. So I'm hoping it's helping, because this is, even though it's dragging out now, it's an easier way of doing it than before, where you had to go in the settings. Okay, so now it's finished. I will have speeded up the last 2 or 3 minutes because it did take longer than I thought it was gonna. Usually I set it off running and go do other things and come back when it's done, which is what you might want to do. So it's now saying it's happy. It's completed the install and then returned it. So now if I go to, in theory, see how now this is not secure. What I'm wanting to do when I refresh this to that IP address, I want to see it say secure. So now I've got secure. So just doing that extra step made it secure, and it bounced look to my domain name. So now I'm running off happy-me.com. I'm going to register. Oh, sorry, I got called away for a bit there. I'm gonna register my email. So user, I'm just going to put in as Paul. Put in a password of extra long length. Register, and you should at that point get an email to confirm your I've just got it on my phone, So there it is. Confirm your account. This is the point where you may have got stuck. Setting up the SMTP stuff is the painful part. Once you've got that initial email, you'll be flying. So now we're going to set up the Discourse. Click here to activate your account. Takes you back to the installer, whatever language you want it in. Obviously, I'm going to use English. Just going to call it the Happy Me Forum. It's actually the Happy Me Philosophy Forum. If anybody wants to come and visit me at happyme.com, come and say hello. Happy Me Philosophy Forum. Then it asks you again, like describe in one word. Paul Nicholson's Happy Me Philosophy. You have to do it all in one line. If you do this, it won't be happy. So you have to make sure it's all one line. Next, public or private. You know, you can, if you want to lock it down so people have got to have a password to get into your forum, you just put private. Email address that for the person group responsible is me. General contact page for your organization. So to contact me, it is, and if you want to contact me, you go here and contact, and there's a request form. So I'm going to put this in, where am I? Back to there. So put my request form. Automated messages. You want it to come from the system. You don't want to come from you, because people reply to you. I mean, unless you want people to reply to you, I don't, so I'm going to leave it as system. Company name is Happy Me. It's just Happy Me. The full company name is Happy Me Limited. Yes, that is my company name. Company domain is now happyme.com. Next. Default or dark. Some people like the dark theme. I prefer the lighter. Upload a logo. So I'm going to go to Happy Me logo and hopefully find the one that's not monstrosity. Where is it? You want a PNG. You need a background. You want one with no background. I'm just going to try and find one quick. Happy Me. Where are you? Final logo. JPEG, PNG, right? So you want it to be a blank background. So upload the little icon. As you scroll down the screen, it's going to change. It changes to a shorter icon. So I've got a, I think I've got it in my folder. I'm looking for Happy Me Small. That must be in here. Further down, it's always, here we go, final icon small. So what happens if you do this before you secure the site? You upload the logos and then you secure the site, but the logos aren't secure. So the logos stop working. So that's why you want to do that step that I did earlier. Again, favicon. I'm going to do Happy Me Small. And if it's somebody saves it to their shortcut on their phone, you want it to have an icon. Like next. You may want to use categories or just a list of latest topics. Again, it's up to you. Depends what your website's all about. I prefer to be categories on one side and then new topics on the right. That's because in the Happy Me philosophy, we're going to have 5 major categories, and then we're going to talk about them. And you'll see categories so you can jump to them quick, and latest posts. Whatever Twitter icons you want, whatever emojis you want to show up, I just leave it as Twitter. I don't use emojis very often. I still use colon dash open bracket or close bracket for a smile. So, and if you've got staff members at this point, you can add staff members or you can add people to it. I'm not gonna. It's gonna tell me, are you sure? I'm gonna put OK, and I'm finished. So now I'm done. My Discourse is going to show me through a greetings. I can go in now to admin and change settings. I can do login. You might want to look at Facebook login so that people can click login with Facebook. click login with Google, click login with Twitter, stuff like that. You may now want to look at plugins. I will add an advert plugin, so it puts an advert at the top of the page. So when people, top and bottom of the page, so when people come, it just helps pay for the site a little bit. It doesn't make a lot of money, but it, you know, I'll add that. I'll add another plugin that'll let me change some of the menu structure and put in menus. I'll start adding categories. I'm playing around. But that's it. You're pretty much done. Look, new topic. Welcome to Happy Me. Oh, new forum. Create topic. Oh, you need to give it a category. Post must be at least 12. Must be 20k. You have tried. So it's not long enough. Oh, sorry. This post must be a more to come. I think the title has to be 15 characters. So you're away. You know, then you're into, if you're looking at how to set up a Discourse forum, you're going to probably know how to use one because you've seen one somewhere else and you've been looking into it. So that was the new way of installing it. That new launcher. Where was it? Have I still got it open? The new launcher, Discourse setup. I don't know if it is new or not, but I've been setting them up for a while and I haven't seen that code before. So maybe I've just stumbled across it, but it's the easier way to secure your website. So hopefully this video has helped. You know where I am, paulnicholson.com if you need some help, and come visit happy-me.com. Hopefully by the time you get there, it'll be a little bit more sense as to what my Happy Me philosophy is. Cheers, guys.